says it's 10:30, so I think we can get started. I do with my agenda. So first item is roll call.
Terry is excused. She called in
Okay.
today.
Looks like we still have a quorum.
We do.
Okay. So with that being the case, we'll move on to item C, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the June 17th, 2021 meeting of the Green Bay Housing Authority?
I'll make a motion.
I will second that motion. Any discussion, questions, additions, or amendments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to item D, approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the April 15th, 2021 meeting of the Green Bay Housing Authority?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second? All right, I will second. All right, so I have a motion, a second. Any additions or corrections to the minutes from the last meeting? Hearing none, all in favor of approval signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We are now on.
Chairman Vandercastle, if we could just for a second, we have a new staff member I'd like Jamie to introduce, and then he doesn't have to wait till the end for the director's report.
Sure.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Hello, commissioners. So last Monday, we had Luke start with us at the Green Bay Housing Authority. He is our new building services coordinator.
Yay! Say it.
Do you want to just give a brief kind of what your history is and say hi?
Yeah, so I'm Luke. I previously worked for Brown County as a facilities worker, so I have enough experience and hands-on experience working in the facilities realm. So I'm excited to be here, though. I'm excited to take on the job and all the responsibilities, and all my coworkers are excellent people right now. And
right now.
They're doing a very good job of helping me along and trying to thing. So it's been a very smooth process right now. So I'm very grateful for that.
Okay. Well, Luke, welcome aboard, and we are grateful to have you too. So
yes, thank you.
You know, it took us a long time to fill that position. It's been vacant since November,
right?
But we weren't going to settle, so we waited for the right person to come along. So, welcome aboard, Luke.
I appreciate that.
So also to reiterate, he did come from Brown County as a facilities manager, but he also worked at the Brown County Community Treatment Center, which is half psychiatric and half nursing home. So I think that background is crucial as well. So
great. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Right.
Go to your
back to work, Luke.
Get to work.
Thanks, Luke.
All right. Very good. Well, that's great news. And sounds like an excellent candidate to fill the position. So excellent. All right. Moving on to E, public hearing regarding the annual goals and capital funding projects for the Green Bay Housing Authority. This is in your packet, so I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing. Is there a
This is
motion?
Sandy. I'll make that motion.
All right. Is there a second?
I second that.
All right. We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. The public hearing is now open. Cheryl, I think I turn this over to you now at this point.
Well, I think Steph, if you want to just briefly go through Steph and Jamie, and then we just ask for comments 3 times, and then we can close it.
This is a requirement by HUD that annually we have a public meeting or public hearing so that people in the community and within our establishment can voice their opinions on our goals and how our CFP dollars are spent. In the packet was how we are looking at the 2021 CFP money to be spent. So if there's anyone that has any comments on this, I'd love to hear it. Otherwise.
All right. Anybody have any comments? I don't, from looking at my Zoom screen here, I don't see that we have anybody from the outside that has shown up to, from the public has shown up to enter any comments. So
We still have to call it 3 times, though.
yes.
3 times.
All right. So I will call number 1. Are there any comments on the public hearing for the, well, actually any comments on the annual goals and capital funding projects for the Green Bay Housing Authority? Going once, going twice. Are there any comments regarding any goals and capital funding projects? Third time, are there any comments regarding the annual goals and capital funding projects for the Green Bay Housing Authority? Hearing none, I guess we have none.
Bill, you
All right.
rocked that. I loved every second of it.
I'm sure. It's just making your day. All
Yeah.
right.
Heck yeah.
Having none, I think we can move to close the public hearing. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
I
We have a
second that
motion. We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing after receiving no comments on the proposed annual goals and capital funding projects for the Housing Authority. Any additional comments? Hearing none, and all in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed to closing the
Aye.
public hearing? We have none. So the public hearing is now closed. All right, moving on to regular business F. Item number 1, consideration with possible BHA operating budget and budget resolution number 2021-04 for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021. And I think
And let
this
me
is a
just-
Stephanie.
Stephanie's
This is a Stephanie
going to talk
project?
about this, but let me say there's a Scribner's error on this agenda item on -03. So
Okay.
when the motion is made, let's change that to 03. All the documents are 03, so
Okay.
it's just on the agenda.
All right. So noted.
Go ahead, Steph.
All of this was sent out to you ahead of time, so hopefully you had enough time to review it. 'Cause I believe we sent it in May, and then we sent it again the beginning of June. Because I know you guys really love budgets, so.
Yeah.
So there was a brief summary on what the updates were. I just wanted to make sure we made one change from what was sent to you than to what is in this packet today. We have added $3,000 to marketing to try to increase our waiting list. That was added to our revenue bonds because we are going to use our unrestricted funds to do that, to try to up our waiting list numbers.
Okay.
So that is the only change from what you received to what you see today.
right.
Otherwise, there's just the normal changes and stuff like that. I can go over them if you wish. Otherwise, seeing as you did get everything ahead of time, if you don't want me to do that, I can not do that either.
Anybody have any questions for Stephanie? Or regarding the budget? Or any questions about the budget, the proposed budget?
Steph, you always do a good job. So I trust that whatever you want to do is what I would agree to.
Well, it's a team effort because I do meet with Jamie and Cheryl, and we do go over this. It's
And I
it's a
try
fun
to
and
put a lot more money in things, and Stephanie tells me I can't, and it's a back and forth, and we find a little here. We did, I guess that's one of the discussions was with marketing. We really don't have a logo. Like when we send letters, we send them out on City of Green Bay letterhead. We don't have a Green Bay Housing Authority letterhead or logo, and we need to do that. We need to create that.
Does Brown County Housing Authority have a branding effort?
I don't think they're working on it. I feel like they have, they might send their stuff out. I'm trying to up here.
I want to be
just county letterhead.
Like in general, I want to be awesomer than the Brown County Housing Authority, and like that doesn't have to be in the official minutes or anything. But
Too late.
they do have their own letterhead and envelopes. So
Yeah. Whatever we do is going to be awesome, Steve. That's just how we roll up here. So that's where we put some money aside because you don't want me making this logo. We need to have maybe a professional person do that.
Yeah. The Green Bay Water Utility, I mentioned earlier before we started the meeting, they had their meeting on Monday, and one of their agenda items was a new logo for the utility. and they used a company by the name of Raftelis. I think it's Raftelis. They've done some work for them in the past, but I think Raftelis was the one that did the new logo for the water utility.
Okay.
So maybe I think Nancy Quirk from the utility can give you some insight into who they, how they work with them, and maybe we can engage them to do a logo for the housing authority.
Yep, definitely. We also, our public arts coordinator in our department also has helped out with some logos in the past. But it's nice to have, we'll bring that to the board. We'll get like a sampling and we'll choose on how we want to go. So there's all different ways you can go. I think the only one I can remember seeing is like, I'm not even sure. It doesn't look like Mason Manor. It's almost like a house, and it's very old.
Yeah.
Jamie's there you go. That's Mason Manor.
Well, we're not doing that. That's from like 1992.
Yes, it's pretty old. So,
like Bill, we need t-shirts and jerseys, man. Like I want to see some housing authority swag.
Some swag.
Yeah, we'll have to open up a like a pro shop in Mason Manor where people can go in and buy their housing authority jerseys and caps and T-shirts and.
Depends how cool we make it, right? People want it. Right. We actually sell swag up in our department for City of Green Bay things. So we do it through Redbubble, but so that's very possible once we get the stuff we need, right? The logos.
Right. Put me in for a cap.
Okay.
All right. So bringing this back around here, do we have any questions regarding the budget?
I would make a motion to approve this budget.
All right. We got a motion to approve. I will second. Again, any further discussion or questions?
And I want to state that, we're coasting on this budget knowing we've got this redevelopment on the horizon. So we're just basically maintaining types of things. And I guess the little extra is the marketing, knowing that we're moving forward with our redevelopment process. So,
okay.
All right, I'm done.
All right. We have a motion. We've had some discussion. All in favor of approving the budget for 2021 into 2022 under resolution number 2021-03, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to
just
item
one thing.
number-
Oh,
Yes, go ahead.
in the packet was the resolution. I will need that signed, and if you can scan that and email that to me, that would be great because I have to send it to HUD.
All right. It's going to be a couple of days, probably not till next week, because my secretary, who knows how to scan, because I don't, is on vacation until next week. So I will get it to you as soon as I can.
Nope, that's fine. I told HUD that on the form it actually says I won't get it to him till the end of the month anyway. So.
Oh, okay. Very good. All right. I will get it to you. All right. Item number 2 under regular business. Consideration with possible action on writing off delinquent tenant accounts effective June 30, 2021. Again, Stephanie, this is one of yours.
Yep. This is our biannual write-offs, and I will let you know, we do write them off, but they are not forgotten. I continue to track them and put them into the state program to try to recoup that money. So
this is routine. We do this twice a year.
Yep. This helps our HUD numbers when we have to report things into them. If we have too high of a receivable, which these are considered a receivable, we get hammered and then we lose points, which then can affect our funding. So we write them off, and then hopefully everything, goes well and collected.
All right.
And then Stephanie continues to work on these. I mean, I think we work through, is it the Tax Intercept program?
Sure.
Which just allows us to get some of this repaid through time.
And they're also entered into our HUD software program. So if any housing authority in the future checks their social, they'll see that the debt is still owed and has to be paid in full before they're eligible for assistance. And then just our general housing software, they're entered into there as well. So
I'll make
Which
them
that does help because I've had 2 people in the last couple of months call. They want to get housing somewhere, so they're setting up repayment agreements to get this paid back to me.
Does your, by sending this in through the tax intercept through TRIP, how successful has that been?
We do very well if they work.
Right.
I do have it set up now that I can put it through. They have a debt collection agency thing. I haven't worked much with that. I'm actually going to start working with the newer ones that I have. Once they're like the ones that we wrote off last year, I'm giving them a year to get to us. And then if they don't, I'm going to start transitioning the larger amount over to the new system. But I do want to kind of give people, if they're going to pay through the other system and they're going to pay us back, I'd hate to have a collection agency after them. So I'm trying to give them a little bit of time. But I am going to start transitioning people over to the debt collection agency part of the state program.
Okay. I just thought of that when we were talking about it because on the Brown County side, with all the collection stuff we've done through Brown County, we were getting probably on average maybe 3 or 4 judgment satisfaction requests per month. But last year that fell off dramatically. We've only done a few of them in the last year. So I think COVID and that sort of thing has impacted the collections of these things with people not working. So
yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? All right. I thought I saw Steve make a motion to approve. Is that correct, Steve?
Bet, Bill.
All right. Then I will second this. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of writing off the delinquent tenant accounts effective June 30, 2021, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Item number 3, consideration of possible action on passbook savings rate.
So this is an annual item also. So what we have to do is we have to look at what the national rate is for savings accounts, and then we can set ours just slightly higher, 75 basis points, either higher or lower than that. This year, the rate was 0.06. So, yeah, making lots of money there. So we've opted to go with 0% because we don't have many people that would fall into this anyways. And I don't know, Jamie, do you have anybody that you even think this would affect?
I think it would be more or less for like checking accounts. Because like if our tenants have savings accounts, there's usually a small percentage. And if they do have a small percentage, then we would count that income that they're generating on. But I think it wouldn't affect anybody significantly at all or increase their rent.
We just did 0 last year too, right?
Correct. Yep.
It's actually been 0 for quite a few years. It's just something required by HUD.
Yeah.
Any further questions? All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second
Is there a second?
Aaron.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Aaron, you're really quiet.
Any further questions or discussion?
Aaron, I find it helpful to be as absolutely animated on these things as possible. It makes it more fun for everybody anyhow.
Sure. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Moving on to the last item. Item number 4, consideration with possible action on approval of replacing 2 furnaces and air conditioning unit in the Mason Manor community room.
Okay, so that was just added to your packet this week. So we had to do a service call. Our air conditioning and furnace that just heats and cools down the community room was not functioning. So we had one of our contractors come in and they said it was, you can put a lot of money into it, or it's probably just best to replace. So I met with the purchasing department, and we found that the city of Green Bay has a cooperative agreement with Trane. So we don't have to go for 3 quotes. So Trane came back and proposed the units that are subbing the install to AMA, who does all of our contracting here for our boilers and systems. This is Davis-Bacon related, so that is why the increase in the amount of money. So we are just asking for your approval to proceed with this project. It just hit over 25 grand, so we would need the board approval to proceed.
Okay. A question out of curiosity. How do we have 2 furnaces in that room?
I think it's just 2 units because it's such a large area and it's on the roof. So it's right above the community kitchen. It's on the roof actually that goes out. So I think that's what the equipment is required to heat that bigger space.
All right.
It's like a package unit, Bill.
Yep.
It's hardly even a furnace.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny use of the term. I would make a motion to approve this.
Yes, I will second.
And then
Any
just a
further-
quick question. Is that the only rooms that this new furnace and air is used for?
Yes.
Oh, wow. 25,000. Holy cow.
The Davis-Bacon wage rates are significant. It's probably at least 10,000 of that because AMA did propose that they could do it. Just the unit alone was, I think, 15 to 18,000. So once you tack on Davis-Bacon wage rates, it significantly increases the project.
Okay.
All right, all in favor of replacing the 2 furnaces and the air conditioning unit in the community room at Mason Manor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Very good. We are now on to the informational items, starting with the GBHA bills. Stephanie, anything significant?
No, nothing significant. There are 2 sets in there, one for April and one for May, since we did not meet last month. So I don't know. Does anyone have any questions on the bills?
Nope.
And
All right. We don't need to take, moving on to item number 2, GBHA financial report. Again, Stephanie, any
So
highlights?
we are close to the end of the year, so that is fun and exciting and winding down. There was also the CFP report in there that we would have had last month, but just shifted to this month. The highlight to that is that we did receive $345,708 in capital funds for the 2021 grant year. So we'll have 4 years to spend that. But with some of the projects that we have coming up, that shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what projects are allocated already to those funds?
That was part of that public hearing. That amount is all in there. Let's see. Some of the big ones are elevator replacements, but with a lot of this is going to be on hold because we don't know what's going rad or whatever with Mason Manor. We don't know how that's going to go. We didn't identify any of that for scattered sites because we are so close to having those switched over. And once they are switched, we cannot use any of these funds on those properties.
Oh, okay.
Yep, but we have, that was a big one. Roofing, in case we have any more roofing issues, because I think that Jamie had said that could be an annual maintenance kind of thing. So we did ID some money for that.
Sure.
We have electrical rewiring and lighting, always trying to update things throughout Mason Manor.
So refresh my memory, you two. I can't. We did boiler work a couple of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the actual housing units. So, right? We did boiler work or replaced
For
boilers.
Mason Manor?
For
Yes.
Mason Manor, we replaced the 2 boilers. Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, so then we don't have that expense. Okay, all right.
The plumbing work is the actual piping through.
I don't think, we didn't replace the boilers,
No, we replaced
did
the water heaters.
the water heaters. We did
Boilers
repairs
are
on the
still-
boilers.
Yeah, boilers are building old.
Oh,
Well,
Water
that's what I thought. Yeah.
okay.
So I'm wondering, that's not anything that we have designated towards these funds, correct?
It is in there, but we didn't put any money towards it.
Okay.
And that it is an item that we can always, this money is fluid and can be shifted. We just have to identify where we might use them. And so you kind of do your budget. And then once you find out, oh, the boilers went down, well, instead of using 100,000 for our elevators, we need boilers instead. That money can just be easily transferred within the budget areas and spent there.
I was wondering. Okay, thanks.
All right, any further questions? All right. No questions. I guess we can move on to the Langen report. Any questions about the Langen report? It's in your packet.
Yes, it's in your packet, the general applications for Mason Manor scattered site.
Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary in there that I saw.
For some reason, they didn't provide how many households are being investigated, and I think we have 2 or 3 right now that are being investigated for unreported household members. So.
Okay. All right. Nothing further. Any questions on the Langen report? Hearing none, I guess we can move on then to the director's report.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff here. So, as far as our RAD process goes, it took us a while to get the RFP situation figured out because originally we had thought that we'd had to go take this purchasing through Public Works as a public project. But then we looked into it further and our city attorney looked at the regs and determined that we did not have to do that, which allows us to send the RFP out in the manner we wanted to, looking for a developer who's going to comprehensively look at the project. So that is in purchasing right now. I'm working with them. Hopefully we'll get that out next week, which will be good. Informational item, the Redevelopment Authority approved a new project on Monroe. I don't know if you've heard about that with Ted Mackham. It is the site of the old farmers market across from the old Bank Mutual. So that big empty. It's a cool project. It's actually going to be 172 market rate units, not high end, but not low end either, kind of in the middle. They're looking at a local grocer, Main Oriental across the street, is actually working with the project because she'd like to expand her parents' business from Oriental Foods, but then as well as stock like your fruits and veggies and make it a full service grocery store. So that is really promising. We're very excited about that. And then UWGB is interested in using part of that development space as well for some outreach stuff they're doing. So this is a way cool project. It's 172 units that went to the RDA, goes to council at the end of June for approval. And then also the RDA approved a planning option with Impact 7, which is a company that does a lot of work, affordable housing work, as well as other type of housing. They're looking at the Badger Sheet Metal area, which is in the shipyard on South Broadway. So across from where Merge is going. They're looking at 238, they're calling it workforce housing. So affordable for the neighborhood. And so they've got a planning option on that. I think they're going to be doing extra tax credits on that. So we're excited about that project. And then our department is going to send out RFPs for 4 other larger development sites that we're going to get out this summer. So we're excited about people wanting to build a good thing. I've also been contacted by some nonprofit housing groups that are looking to do some smaller transitional housing, maybe 10 to 20 units in various spaces throughout the city. So we're working with them on that now as well. Section 18.
Cheryl, you're talking really lots of housing units going in.
Yep.
What are we looking at to ensure accessibility, possibly other than fair housing? What are we looking at making sure that these units could be more specific to people with disabilities, could have a little bit more features like barrier-free showers, which is the big thing lacking.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is incredible that we're looking at all this housing, but truly the need for those units are unbelievable.
Those are things that I think we can negotiate with the developers when they come in. For example, Impact 7. They're not at the point yet. I think although Gorman, we could talk to Ted Mackham as well to see if they could allocate some of the units with those types of options, because I don't think that makes a big difference in the construction.
It doesn't. It doesn't. If you do it from the beginning, it really doesn't.
From the beginning, so
right. And I think just I can imagine most of them, if they're like a 2-bedroom, they'll probably have a bath and a half or whatever. So, I mean, a barrier-free shower or even a walk-in shower can bring that closer access to what people may need. So if I can be involved in any of that at all, or if you need any input, we would love work with these developers to make sure that, I mean, everything now has to be built accessible, entryway anyway, parking, all that type of stuff. But it's truly getting in and around that apartment that poses the most barriers, with the bathroom being number one. Yep.
In honesty, I don't know if they've done that already, Sandy, in some of these units. Maybe they just haven't mentioned that they plan to do that. But I'll certainly bring that up to them.
I would appreciate that
on that one.
And anything I can do to help, I'd be there. So thanks.
Yeah, that would be great. If they want to know specs or something, that might be good. I'm sure you could help out with that. Perfect.
Cheryl, do you know what's going on with that development across from the Broadway lofts? The race to put up a bunch of elevator stair shafts, and it's been sitting. What's going on there?
Yep, I think I'm not sure what's happening with that. I don't know if their financing changed on that. They're still working with us, and I know they're working with Director Steck Schulte on that. So I don't know if they're just trying to reorganize their financing to come in. It's not a dead project. So, and I don't know if something happened with COVID that delayed it, but I'm hoping that they're going to get that information to us, because it'll have to go back to the RDA, either July or August, I'm thinking of this year, on what they plan to do with it. I still believe there's a housing project that's going to go there, but I think I don't know if their TIF request is going to change or the ask is going to change, but.
Right. It's been sitting there inactive for
a
year and a half or something crazy, right? I mean,
a long time.
Right.
They got out of the ground, which was great, but then it stopped.
Right.
We are still waiting to hear from HUD with regards to our scattered sites, Section 18 units, to see where we are. So we're just in the holding pattern with HUD on that. I have made a request to the Brown County Housing Authority to work with them again on some project-based vouchers for Mason Manor. When we go through the RAD process, we'll need the Housing Authority to be a partner with us, the Brown County Housing Authority, in providing those vouchers for our tenants. So I've sent a letter to them. I think they're meeting next week, Monday, just to start that dialogue. It's been very positive up to this point. We've had a good relationship. They granted those vouchers to us for the Section 18 for our scattered sites. So we're just asking for that extension. I think it's a good deal in that, again, if we can pull these units out of our public housing portfolio, it allows us to build new public housing when we still have those units in place. So looking at the end game, it actually will get us more units in the area. So
Cheryl, we're not looking at having all of them switch over to vouchers, like half. How many are we looking at?
I think we're still determining that.
Okay.
How the financing goes on the project.
Okay. Yeah, great.
I think it was roughly 80-20.
Yeah. But they're not sure till we finish. So we're still looking for a custodian too. It has been very, very difficult to fill that position. I think it's been very difficult to fill, quite frankly, all of our positions right now in City Hall, but this one's been open for a while. So again, if you know of anybody that's looking for a great job with great people, send them our way. Position is still listed and open. And then the last thing I have is future meetings. So right now in City Hall has moved to, for city council meetings, a hybrid. So what happens is they have council members come into the council chambers and they bring their computers and they're actually on Zoom in the council chambers. And then people who don't want to come in then are Zooming from home. So they're calling that the hybrid. So moving forward, it's really up to the housing authority what you'd like to do. We can continue doing the Zoom. We could meet if you wanted to in 604. That's a big enough room that I think we could be spread out enough. We don't get a whole lot of people that come in. Or we could do this hybrid. If we do the hybrid, we'd have to meet in the council chambers to do that. Because that's how it works. And then somebody has to work the microphones and it's just a little bit more complicated. But I'm just throwing it out there to see what you guys are thinking about for future meetings.
I'm okay with continuing Zoom. It seems to work. It seems to be less of an impact on people moving around and getting in and stuff. And so I mean, I'm open to any suggestions anybody else has, but I'm okay continuing the Zoom.
Suits me.
I am fine with that also, but I'll do either or. So I mean, I would prefer either Zoom like this or in person, not the hybrid, just for the sake of all the work that would have to be done. But for right now, I'm fine with Zoom. I'm not going to be able to make next month's meeting though, just so you're aware.
Okay. All right. So for the foreseeable future, then let's just continue with Zoom,
which is fine. We can do that. And Aaron, you're okay with that too? Okay, cool.
Right.
Easy peasy. All right. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Moving then on to the occupancy report, which is in your packet. Are there any questions?
So again, that's in your packet. We have had a handful of tenants vacate, move out this month. So Luke is understanding the effect of a move out and all the work that comes through it. We did fortunately have a few mid-month. So how the beginning of the month goes to the middle of the month, to the end of the month, he's kind of seen the full circle of the whole process. But yeah, some general move outs, some were asked to vacate. So
we're still in our 98% to 100% category. So we're still in good shape.
Yes.
Yeah, and technically with HUD, we can never be 100% because our office is considered a unit. And then this where our service provider and Langen is, that's also considered a unit. So even though we have them offline, they're still considered in our portfolio. So no matter what we do like the 99 or 98% is the highest that we can achieve. So I had a call with HUD this week and they were very impressed how we are keeping on without staff. So
yeah.
Yeah. Or a logo.
Yeah, kudos to you
Or a
guys.
logo.
Yeah.
And and just to mention, we
Not
had
just a logo, an awesome logo.
an awesome, cool logo. We also had to get all those air conditioners into Mason Manor.
Oh, that was
I
fun.
heard about that. So, that was like 75 air conditioning.
We're like, Casey, what do you think we're at? Like 110 at least?
110 air conditioning units
At
are
least.
installed individually in each room. So we actually had, the staff at Mason Manor were doing it. We actually had 4 of our inspection staff that came over and spent a half a day or a day just putting air conditioning units in. So
Wow.
got to get it done, right? 8th floor is going to be, remember, it was really warm in May.
Yes.
Yeah, those really hot days in May. So clearly
Wow.
that's one thing we're going to look at in the remodel, though, not having individual air conditioning units.
We are all professional AC installers.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
Wickedly inefficient. Let's get a chiller.
Okay. Are those the traditional stick them in the window air conditioner units?
yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Steve, is there anything that's come out recently that's equivalent to that? That's not as much stick them in the windows?
Not for the price point or the,
Right.
Because the tenants, these are tenants. Tenants
Right, yeah.
purchase the unit and then they charge, what is this, $10?
It's $10 for installation or $15 if it's after a certain day. Yeah.
I mean, for the $200-300 a unit cost, you can go with a mini split. You're going to spend $2,000 on that, and you got to find a place to put the other half of it. I mean, no, Bill.
Okay.
Short answer, no.
Thought I would ask.
Wet towel over the box fan, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my
Fan.
gosh, that is really old school.
Taking me back to college.
Yeah. Jamie, just a quick, the moratorium is off for evictions, correct?
Correct. June 30th.
So did we have evictions as a result of offing that?
So it's kind of twofold. We have had evictions for tenants that do not qualify for the CDC eviction moratorium. But then come July 1st, so it was if their income wasn't impacted by COVID. So now come July 1st, we can start proceeding with notices that of individuals that their income was infected, or geez Louise, I cannot speak today, that were impacted by COVID-19. So.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that means even if your income is still impacted, it's July, we can start. Okay. All right.
Yep. So anybody that has been affected by COVID, their income, we have to give them. So I'm going to probably shoot out the letters today, and there's only a handful of tenants that they have to enter into a repayment agreement for their past due debts. If they fail or don't come to an agreement, then we can give them a 30-day notice that they're in fault of their repayment agreement come July 1st and proceed eviction as normal. So yes, we can start proceeding with that. But instead of a 5-day notice, we do have to give them a 30-day notice to vacate for individuals that have been financially impacted by COVID.
Okay.
And these are all HUD rules, as a
Right,
reminder.
not our rules. Yeah.
We're kind of stuck. We don't get to make that call. It's, we need to be impartial in how we enforce this stuff.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, there is plenty of community dollars available for past due rents, for future rents of anybody that has been financially impacted again. So a part of those repayment agreements is referring those individuals or tenants to these ERAP programs, to community services that have a bunch of COVID dollars that can financially assist them.
And you do remember that we have funding also if it's a person with a disability. So-
Okay.
So I just have a dumb question about that. Is there connection between the write-offs that Stephanie was asking for earlier in today's meeting?
Oh.
So our write-offs are for past tenants. So they have vacated, and those debts owed are for unpaid rent when they vacated, or damages that they've caused to the unit upon vacating and their security deposit did not cover it. The COVID and the rapid rehousing, or the ERAP dollars, those are for current tenants, so they do not face eviction or homelessness.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, is there a opportunity in place to have that discussion before it's too late and they show up on next year's, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody making a bad decision on their own.
Jamie does work with all these people before they come with me. She works with all of them to be like, hey, you're behind. What can we do to help you? Okay. She offers repayment agreements to all her behind tenants before they ever are evicted or, leave. So she does a wonderful job working with them and trying to keep them on track. But sometimes, as much as you want to help somebody, they just don't want the help.
For sure. Right on.
Or they don't want to go through the steps that it takes to get the help, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to NewCap this week in regards to one of our individuals that applied for the ERAP program. And I'm like, if you have all this funding available, why? Like, I just didn't understand. She goes, I can't tell you how many people don't return the paperwork. Getting their monthly income is so hard for them. And I'm just like, all this funding and financial assistance is available, and they do not have a good success rate with giving the assistance out.
Yeah. So that's need a logo. Reason number 1,000,007. You guys are awesome.
Well, we have Chantel too, remember,
Yes.
that assists our tenants in helping
Right.
find those resources as well.
Yeah, and Jamie, reminder that we do have funds for people with disabilities, please.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Sandy, are you or somebody in your office able to forward me the app?
We don't have an application. It's just taken over the phone. It's very simple. We don't verify income. We just verify what they need through the management or the landlord. And then we make payment to the entity, to the landlord
Okay.
Oh,
or the management.
easy still.
Yeah, ours is very, very easy.
I will provide that to Chantel. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, anything further for the good of the order here? Otherwise, our next meeting is July 15th at 2021, and we are then ready for adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I can second it. All right. Stephanie, I did sign the resolution, so it is ready to go. I will get it to you as soon as I can. All right.
Well, if
we
you're in
are-
City Hall, Bill, you can drop it off too.
That's I was just thinking of
Open,
that.
so-
I haven't been in the building there for quite a while, so I might get lost. So, all right. Is there we've got a motion to second to adjourn? All in favor, signify
Aye.
by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for your time this morning.
Thanks,
And we
all.
are going to work on that.
Hey,
We
Sandy.
are going to work on
Yes.
that awesome cool logo.
Yeah, we will get on the logo. I just had a quick question come to my brain. For a person, so to qualify for assistance, but for options for independent living,